We're a couple of days now into the NBA playoffs. There are 16 teams alive, 0 teams eliminated, 16 teams with a chance to win it all. Some who truly have a chance to win it all, others, well, who knows, may succeed if they have an exceptionally fortunate day. Possibly, all 16 teams in the playoffs though generally think they can hoist the trophy at the end of the season at this point. Whether you are the first seed or the 8th seed makes no difference. An 8th seed made it to the finals only in the year before. Why can't an 8th seed end up in the championship? If someone returns without mentioning it, the problem is that, as I mentioned before, every team and most fans as well think they can win it all this season naturally. It's throughout the playoffs. Every team has a group of ardent supporters who jump on board come April. These are the people who believe Isaiah Hudson and Quentin Grimes are still playing for the New York Knicks. Stephen Smith says he looks at Grimes as the hardest thing which gives a result off the bench. Declaring this on a national television, that is crazy. I apologize, but the question portions continue to be amazing. Stephen A. Smith, however, everything has some supporters on the opposite end of the spectrum, in addition to those who get on the bandwagon when the NBA season has 60 days remaining. The diehard fans, the evening just done him proud. Kwame Brown just says the supporters who have stood by the team during difficult moments. The 24 Washington Wizards fan, the fan who watches game 82 when it doesn't matter at all to the season. When you don't watch, Sam Houser, Content, Steve Maluk, and Peyton Pritchard are the starting lineup. Those admirers and these are often the fans who knows the team best, the specifics of the group. They may be blatantly biased and difficult to discuss basketball at all times, but other times they are the ones who have the most in-depth knowledge of the sport. That's what I did then. I said that theoretically every one of the 16 teams who qualified for the playoffs could win the championship. A lot needs to go right for your team to win the title. It makes no difference who you are. I further contacted supporters of all 16 clubs and posed a straightforward question to them. What's everything that needs to go right for your team to win it all? After all, these individuals are the most familiar with their teams. With that in mind, we will begin with the Eastern Conference. The 8th seed will be followed by the 1st seed, and with that, Miami Heat is where we must begin. Jimmy Butler, as we all know, naturally had an injury. For the Heat to succeed, Hugh and Bang will need to perform one of these. In actuality, the series is currently deadlocked 1-1. As I'm writing this, each series had 2 games played so far. Saturday, Thunder and Pelicans are currently engaged in the second game. We'll talk about that later. However, that implies that postseason is still very early this year. In addition, I spoke with a Heat supporter called Jess, who provided me all list of things needs to accomplish in order to repeat the previous year's performance. Firstly, stay healthy. The Heat are currently enjoying the good fortune that the Memphis Grizzlies enjoyed during the regular season. Thanks to Butler and Rozier this year and here last year, I saw they referred to as the boneless Miami Heat. It's even terrible than pizza without bone. She added that aside from that, all they needed to do was collaborate and stay in the same page because they weren't communicating well. The squad frequently makes small errors that end up changing the outcome of the game. They might frequently be in page and had a strong chance of winning everything. If the squad was fully healthy, it would assume the role of prime Dominic Wilkins, which he will accomplish anyhow. Do you recall the guy who missed out winning MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals by 1 vote? It would have been crazy. However, we must proceed immediately to the 7th seed, Philadelphia 76ers, to begin with. They have no business being a 7th seed despite a 2-0 defeat against the New York Knicks at the moment. But that race is far from finished, particularly because they are currently traveling to Philadelphia. However, Maxey and Embiid have been unstoppable thus far, with Embiid performing like a blind man, seeing with one eye. I'm not sure how he's managing this. However, game 2 was insane. If you know, you know. Once I get into the Knicks, I will talk about the greater detail. To put things in perspective, Joel Embiid stated that he lost to the Knicks is worse than the 2019 Game 7 loss to Toronto. In perspective, the opposite of the greatest game winner of all time in 2019, it has to be really horrible to beat that. Nonetheless, we believe that the 76ers have a shot every year, and in reality, it's because they have Joel Embiid. That is basically it. If you have Embiid, you have a chance. I spoke with one of the 76ers page and he handed me first. Embiid must maintain at least 80% health, although Joel Embiid sounds like a person on Super Smash. Character with a health rating, I'm not too sure what percentage is. That being said, he's been hitting his stats, averaging 31.5 over the first 2 games. I'm not sure, but Joel Embiid alone is the best person who to determine Joel Embiid's health. Secondly, though the bench must rise to the occasion, we have blown leads left, right over the years. When Joel Embiid is not playing, we can win hands down if these two elements are safeguarded. So far in this series, the Sixers have been awful with Embiid off the court. Embiid had a plus 12.8 net rating while he was on the floor and minus 73 when he wasn't. Frankly, I'm just betting on Joel Embiid to be done now. The players desire two players who could score pointers for his team. The Indiana Pacers finished as the 6th seed in the East right now. The series is 1-1. I believe this series was aired on 1-2 movies or something similar, but I'm not entirely sure. But really, this series has been fairly enjoyable thus so far. Even without Giannis, it appears as though either scenario may have. To be honest, I have no idea the winner of this is. Not even able to offer you the definite estimate. In any case, Pascal Siakam seems to be the best Indiana basketball player since Larry Bird. In the first 2 games of the series, the guy is scoring 36.5 points per game on average. The Pacers may have a difficult time finishing strong, but everything is possible. Larry needs to play like the player who was before his injury, according to Simba. The Pacers fan has spoke with that hasn't occurred, though, as he scored 10.5 points a game on average in the series opening 2 games. Simba did, however, add that a few Boston players ought to sustain injury. That is Celtic's excellence. Have you got people wishing injuries who wouldn't even see them in players' first 2 rounds? Crazy. However, he concluded by saying that Miles, Turner and Siakam needed to make their own outside decision. After all, clearly has been. Turner is 6 for 16 from deep thus far in the series, going 4 for 8. Not great, but also not the worst that we had ever witnessed, though it would undoubtedly require a lot from the Pacers. It would be interesting to watch. In the East, however, the Orlando Magic are the 5th seed. To be honest, the Magic don't seem like they belong in the playoffs right now. I'm all for a nice game of basketball, but the Cavs have been killing it. Hopefully they prove me wrong. We all watch it, even though some people think it's unappreciated when compared to the other shows. The Mavs Clippers have a lot of aura and real basketball. Case Magic boring, less than 100 points. Avoiding the Temple series, that's crazy. The Temple series, I can't even lie, that's funny. However, Magic supporters are aware of how difficult it would be for the team to win everything. After I spoke with Magic enthusiast Iman, he provided me with a list of 3 requirements. Paul first transforms into a defensive Carmelo Anthony second, and clearly prior to the injury research transformed into durable during the regular season. Last, Jonathan Isaac becomes Giannis. You put Giannis, Durable and Melo on the same team, and now I'm giving them a call. Therefore, Orlando might win the first win if that occurs. However, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are on the opposing side of the team, most series take over. After that, there are Pure Tense Garland plays basketball. Mobley is excellent, Allen is excellent, and Donovan Mitchell is fantastic. But to be honest, if there is a sleeper team, I wouldn't be overly stunned if they manage to defeat Boston in second round if everything goes according to plan. However, I'm sure they will sweep it and I'll seem foolish. Well, anything. No, there is a lot of clowning around the Cavs Magic series. Hey, post that series on Snapchat called Cavs Magic. Nobody is concerned. It received 22,000 likes. That is a series that nobody watched. Oh no! However, Cavs supporters are feeling rather assured. Sutter, who manages a social Cavaliers page, several things must go well for Cavs to win the championship. First, prevent critical injuries. Yes, that applies to all teams. Apart from that, though, keep the game's internal toughness in contrast to its Magic in game 1. Well, there is no complaints there because game 2 appeared rather similar. Subsequently, obtain dependable points from Levitt and additional bench rotation players. Levitt is scoring 6.5 points a game average in each game in this series thus far. so that hasn't occurred. Finally, reliable 3-point shooting, long drive spells are not allowed, but that's about it so far. The Cavs have seen quite impressive. A Cavs championship would be completely unexpected, as I said. The Bucks stood not Giannis in the first 2 games of the series. The Ames actually appeared pretty good. Who knows? Maybe they can survive the Pacers series sans Giannis. After that, who knows? Maybe he returns, and after that, Giannis, he might bring ring for you. This has happened before, but that series is 1-1 right now. That is going either way, as I mentioned. However, I spoke with a big Bucks fan, and this is what he told me. Without Giannis, the first need Leonard for the playoffs. If they can maintain their health after that, everything should be alright. They have already received a playoff game, so that settles that issue. After that, though, he stated that Doc Rivers must use a strong 8-man rotation in the absence of Danilo. I will remain very factual until I read this note. I had no idea Gallo was a book. In 10 years, that is one of those side shows from TikTok. A book from Milwaukee is Danilo. However, it appears that Doc has been going 9 deep thus far. This guy demands for an 8-man rotation was not granted, but in all honesty, we all know that Giannis is the key for the Bucks. He is in good health, that's most important. But let's move on. The Knicks as second seed in the East. They now have a 2-0 lead over the Sixers. The other day they put off the most crazy victory I've ever witnessed. James grabs the rebound, Bosch is back at it. Allen's 3-pointer. Knicks fans responded to that play. You must play and watch this. However, the Knicks have an opportunity to see both of these teams are good enough to advance to the Eastern Conference Final, but that's just way things work out. They kind of got screwed with the Sixers' first round game. Therefore, the Knicks must defeat Philly in order to have a chance to advance. However, I spoke with a Nick at the time by the name of T to determine what else the team needs to do. First, Anonymous needs to become a consistent scorer option at least 18 points per game. Well, he's averaging 10.5 points per game throughout the first 2 games, so that hasn't happened. He hasn't turned into Joe's Hart second helping gear, but second, he did say Hart needs to continue to make open threes. Well, good call, because Joe's Hart is 8-15 right now from 3 in the series. I would feel like Joe's Hart all step of matters. Has anyone noticed this? Anyways, the one scene in the East, of course, the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are tied 1-1 right now with the Heat. Game 1 wasn't even close. Game 2 they somehow lost. I would assume they win Game 3 and Game 4. Now we got to move out west. The new Pelicans, like the Sixers, the Pelicans seem way too good to be their seed. It's unfortunate that their best player got hurt, especially when he was having maybe the best game of his career. I mean, the Pels looked good in Game 1, though, even without Zion. But obviously, it will take a lot for the Pelicans to make a run, even if Zion is held. So I talked to a Pelicans fan. His name is Retro. He runs a big Pelicans page. He gave me a list of things that need to happen. First, beat the inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder with Brandon Ingram being a legit superstar. I mean, the series is 1-0 OKC right now, so that to be determined. But second, play Clippers, and Kawhi is hot and Zion is healthy. Well, Kawhi came back yesterday, so he's 0-2 there. But third, hope Yoke gets hot for the game or two. Play decisive, find a way to somehow implode. Plus, the Pelicans start to play some of their best basketball this season. That's a lot. I think the first step process was 4 rounds, but yeah, it will take a lot for the New Orleans without Zion. That is like the Avengers without Iron Man. It doesn't work. Anyways, the 7th seed, that would be the Los Angeles Lakers, everyone's favorite team, right? The series is 2-0 Denver right now. Game 2 was controversial. D-Lot let us know on Twitter he thought it was a foul, but the Lakers blew 20-point lead. I don't know, they shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. And of course, Jamal Murray did things to end the game, but for real, I think there is a complete split down the middle. You are either happy to see the Lakers win or you hate seeing the Lakers win. I don't think there is an in between where there is whatever. But one guy who is definitely happy to see the Lakers win, Danny the Lakers fan, here's what he told me needs to happen in order for the Lakers to win. First, Ham needs to be better on the fly and make better adjustment, call the right timeout, which he hasn't done. And then he said to knock on the low, as he always faces away in the playoffs. He's averaging 18 a game right now in the playoffs, so pretty close to his regular season number. And then he said AD and Brown have to set the tone and be aggressive. Well, AD and Brown have both been good, and the Lakers still find themselves down 2-0. I mean, they are playing the Denver Nuggets. I don't know who can beat them too. Yeah, it might take a miracle for the Lakers to win it all, but the 6th seed in the West ended up being the Phoenix Suns, and we all say it. This team looks bad. They are down to 0 right now against the Wolves. Look like they'll just go out there and play with no energy. I think I could wake up 4 a.m. and play with more energy at a 4-0-5 game. So what did the Suns fan have to say? I talked to RB first. Of course, the 3 main guys have to stay healthy, and all 3 stars have to play at a high level, which has been far from the case up to this point. But after that, role players have to knock down big shots, which really hasn't been the case either. Negja has to stay out of foul trouble and a proper execution of the defensive scheme. Well, unfortunately, basically everything he said has been the opposite up to this point. The Suns have just kind of look trash ball. We got to move on in the 5 seed, ended up being the Dallas Mavericks. This is the Pacers books of the Western Conference due to the fact it could go either way, but we got 1-1 series right now. Looking at Kiwi, Jordan, and Piping, I think actually no, they are the perfect real life example of Batman and Robin. Another series though where I couldn't even pick winner. Straight up coin toss, heads, Clips win, tails, Mavs win. Alright, I'm going to throw 10,000 on the Mavs, be right back. But if the Mavs are gonna win, well, I talked to a big Mavs account. Here's what he said needs to happen. First, PJ Washington, Dante Exum, Derek Dallard Jr. and Josh Green need to be dressed from deep, at least 2 of them every game. I mean game 2, PJ and Jones combined for 28, so there's that. But besides that, defense needs to show up. They were amazing after the dress because of the defense in the interior. And lastly, Luke and Curry needs to be themselves. Game 2 was everything this dude asked for. Damn, with the team they are playing, the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi just came back. Harden has been like Rockets Harden in the series. The Clippers are one of the craziest teams in the NBA at full strength. When Kai sneezes at full strength, that's really what it is. But the Clippers fan joined, he told me a few things of Paul and Westbrook. Candy shot is GG's because the Clippers got everything else, he said. But then Westbrook and Paul, they are averaging a combined 15.5 points per game so far in these 2 games. That's just not what Jones asking for. But other than that, he said fast break points and shooting efficiency are key. I mean, yeah, that is basically key for all teams. But one Clipper fan in specific, he said that he saw the MVP finalists. I couldn't believe Zubac wasn't mentioned. Honestly, I felt the same way. But the 3rd seed ended up being the Minnesota Timberwolves. Shout out to the Wolves, one of the more fun teams in the NBA playoffs to watch. I mean, history just rewrites itself sometimes, but the Wolves have been kicking the Suns' ass. It hasn't even been close up to this point. It's not just Edwards, Kite and Gobert. McDaniels has been like, he might not even be piping here, he might be Jordan. But a big Wolves account is who I reached out to. He told me a bunch of things. For starters, Cat has to be aggressive on offense. He's only averaging 15.5 points per game so far, but he really hasn't had too much. But after that, and also has to score and light level, he's averaging 23.5. I am 41% from the field, and there are 2-0 Suns, man. I don't even know what to say. But then he also said NAW or Nas Reed have to be consistent third scorer with Cat injured. Well, NAW has been averaging 14 a game so far. So now complaining about that, the Wolves are a threat to anyone, though there is no question about it up to this point. But the team that ended up being the 2 seed is the Denver Nuggets, up 2-0 on the Lakers right now. Jamal Murray, that's all I have to say. Really got Dante and Jamal Murray back to back on CNC. That was a ridiculous day of basketball. But of course, Jokic has been Jokic in the playoffs, 27-20 in the last game, and he was just as great in game 1 and 2. Nuggets fans won a repeat, so I talked to Kiddy and wrote me a 5-paragraph MMA former AC about how the Nuggets can go all the way. But I will break it down for you. He really just focused on boosting Denver finals. I guess he's locked into that, but he said the starters needs to be lights out. MBG needs to be consistent. Gordon has to shut down Brown or Tanton, and Shimura needs to be themselves. And then off the bench, Watson and Brown need to be playoff risers. Those 2 have to do their things and let the starters get some rest. And yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. The Nuggets will probably end up winning the West, at least realistically. I can't sit here and act like they won't. But then we got the number one seed, the Oklahoma City Thunder, an average age of like 15. The Thunder are up 1-0 on the Pelicans right now. Game one was really good though. I think the Thunder might be in the little fight in this series. I'm not sure, but the Thunder definitely do have a chance to go all the way. Everything goes right. They are all good. And I talked to Mason, a big Thunder fan from OKC. He wrote even more than the Nuggets fan did. Here's everything he said. First, energy is everything. Second, they can't have any of the shooting slump they had during the regular season. Third, getting his valuable minutes in one game, 2-3-3 in 20 minutes. I don't know it's valuable, but for SGA, he just needs to be SGA. Is playoffs, so he just needs to be himself. If he is an all goes right, the Oklahoma City Thunder have a chance to go all the way, but really that is everything for all 16 teams in the playoffs. How each and every team can go all the way. Good of Valerio at the end of the year. Tell me what you think. Is your team going to get all the way? I guess we'll find out. Let us know in the comment section. See you soon. Stay tuned.